Oh my God, I'm so in love. I found you finally. You make me wanna say,
The ball forward to Hooper. Hooper now inside the six.
Inside our 12th man production studio, it is another edition of the Aggie Soccer Show. We are with head coach G. Guerreri and a couple of wins to talk about to get us going here. On Friday, Texas A&M took on Iowa State in Ames. It was an overtime victory, 1-0 for the Aggies. And coach, this resulted in your fourth consecutive shutout in Big 12 conference play.
Well, and it was a challenge. And you always hear coaches talk about how tough it is to win in their league, and that really is the case here, especially when you have to go to other people. And usually, if you come in with a big national ranking like we do, and they're going to play their best, and they were all hyped up for it. And we had a lot of chances to make it 1, 2, 3, 4-0 potentially, but we didn't. And a lot of that's testament to their hard work and their grit to extend it into overtime. But then once it got into overtime, Whitney Hooper got around the corner, had a good chance, keeper touched it, and Merritt Mathias, who had been terrific all night, is able to hammer home the first-time finish. And a 1-0 golden goal win is good enough for 3 points in our standings. And then we were able to make the next step and move on.
Well, before we get to Missouri, that's your next game, your next win. Got to send you congratulations. That was your 300th victory as the Aggie head coach.
Well, it's you know what, and I knew that it was coming close, but when you get into a match, you kind of forget about everything else around it. And they reminded me right after the game that was number 300, which is neat for the program. A lot of if you think back at all the people who had a big part in that, going back to all the way to 1993 and to now, there's a lot of hundreds of people who were big parts of that, and it was a great night for us. It was a neat thing, but then really for us the most important thing was getting 301.
Yeah, 301 would come 2 days later. You're well on your way to 400 now. Missouri was next, and this was a nationally televised match on ESPNU. 4-2 on the road, you dropped the Tigers.
Even though we've had a real good record over the years over Mizzou, I think we're 12-4 over them. But in Columbia, it's been a real struggle. And even last year here in College Station, it was a 4-4 tie. So we knew it was going to be an offensive, kind of a showcase. Both teams like to attack, and they got on the board early, really in only the third minute. But I was really proud of the way our players solved a lot of the issues that Mizzou was throwing at us, solved a lot of the problems that they were throwing at us physically, and solved those problems with soccer and by being able to play ourselves out of trouble. First goal, the equalizing goal in the first half, came off of a series of I think maybe 7 or 8 passes. Ball 1, Bree Young completes a pass from the ground. We work the ball around, gets out to Merritt Mathias. She goes at the back line, plays a ball across to us in the middle, one times over to Rachel Shipley, who first times it with her left foot into the far post. We go into halftime tied 1-1. Second half, they come out and they score a goal on a little flick off of a corner kick. But again, our players really came back, being able to run at them. Alyssa Motz plays a nice ball in behind for Nora Skelton. Nora, who's really been coming on gangbusters lately after off-season knee surgery, gets on the board with a nice ball. She gets around the goalkeeper, slides into the open net. And then in the 70th minute, again, it's a series of really good play to set up Beth West to run at their back line. She gets end line, serves the ball across, and Merritt Mathias is there to finish it first time. And then just 9 minutes later, again, we're on the break. Motz running, plays a ball off to Mathias, who has a touch to settle, and then just hammers the ball into the upper corner. And 4-2 is a terrific win for us against the Tigers, and it sets us up now for what we think is a real big weekend here in Aggieland.
Yeah, certainly you put a big weekend behind you, the 300th win. You're now 13-3 overall, 6-1 in the Big 12. This team is a staple in the top 10 this year. That won't change as you go into this next week, but this is all what we'll talk about when we come back. A big week coming up for Aggie soccer. Stay with us.
The Aggie Football Show with head coach Mike Sherman is your all-access pass to Texas A&M football. Join me, Will Johnson, for exclusive interviews, highlights, and behind-the-scenes footage of all your favorite coaches and players. Tune in to hear Coach Sherman's breakdown of the team's performance and everything else surrounding his program. Check your local listings for air times or go to AggieAthletics.com for program information. Don't miss an episode. Watch the Aggie Football Show with head coach Mike Sherman every week throughout the fall season.
Welcome back to the Aggie Soccer Show. On Thursday night, Coach Guerreri and his team will host a youth soccer clinic that's out at the soccer stadium. He encourages all of you to come out and enjoy your time with this soccer team. And then on Friday, a youth clinic on Thursday, but Friday, it's all about the veterans. It's senior night as you get back to Big 12 conference play. What a big weekend coming up, because Friday here in town, 7:30, it's the Sooners of Oklahoma. Now, they're in third place in Big 12 play. Sunday, it's the Sooners' rival, the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. They are 3 points ahead of you, and they are in first place in the Big 12 conference standings. But let's talk about OU first before you can get to the Cowgirls. Got to face a good OU team on Friday.
OU's having probably the best year in forever. Really coming in, I'm sure, with a lot of confidence, coming off of a nice weekend where they were able to defeat Colorado and tied Nebraska in what was a really good game, even though it was 0-0. So they'll come into town, like I said, in third place. And this is a team where we lost to them in Norman. It was the first time we'd ever lost to them last year. So I'm sure they'll be playing with confidence. I'm sure they'll come in with a lot of pride and trying to do whatever they can to derail us. And for us, it's a huge match. I mean, if we want to be able to win our 11th Big 12 title, we're going to have to win on Friday night. And the game on Friday also is special for us because it is senior night. Our 8 seniors, phenomenal people first off, but they've all of them have been instrumental in not just our conference success, but in the national success of this program. And so we'll be doing a pre-game ceremony with them, and then we'll be kicking off. And this is kind of a game that we play especially for them. And I hope that the 12th man will be out there to really stand and cheer for these guys and stand and help us in what we know is going to be a very, very difficult match.
Yeah, you almost hate to look ahead to Sunday because that is such a big match on Friday, but you have to look at Sunday right now also because, like I said, OSU, they've got 21 points in the conference standings. You have 18. You're looking for yet another Big 12 trophy. There is a potential that it would come down to this match as you go for the title.
Well, we have 3 games left, 2 this weekend and then 1 next weekend on the road. But a lot of people have been pointing to this. The OSU is having a great year. They're ranked as high as number 4 in the country this year. They've only got 1 loss and 1 tie on the season. Their loss was at Portland, just like we lost. It was a 1-0 game, and then they tied on the road at Colorado College. For us, though, it really comes down to we've got to come out and perform. We've had good success over them over the years. Last year, again, the first time we ever lost to them, that was in the Big 12 tournament, a 1-0 game where they scored on a corner kick, and they're very good defensively. They're very good on the counter. They have a really good team chemistry to them. So they'll be a real challenge for us. And I think it'll be a very entertaining game. The games that we've played with them over the past 5 or 6 years have been very close and have been. I think they've been good spectacles for the people that have been in attendance. And again, Sunday's a big day for us. And I know that with it being our last home game of the regular season, it's our crowd's last chance to see us for sure at home.
And then some things going on Sunday around that OSU match. You've got a youth soccer day. Children that display their soccer jersey get in for free. It's Aggie Student Appreciation Day. Students that show their ID here at Texas A&M, they get in free. And with this being a big match, really no reason to miss it.
That's right. And then also on Friday night with the game against OU, Friday night is a Greek night, and then it's also dollar Pepsi and popcorn night at the concession stand. So lots of things going on at the stadium. Like I said, it all starts on Thursday with a youth clinic for 4, 5, 6, and 7-year-olds. We want people to park at the baseball stadium parking lot and walk in. But it just gets bigger on Friday, and it just even bigger on Sunday, especially if we can win on Friday.
All right. As always, best of luck, Coach.
Thank you.
G. Guerreri right here on the Aggie Soccer Show. We will see you next week.